When the media targets someone and decides they want them canceled, they generally succeed. There are rare cases in which the hit pieces and career-killing attempts fail. On November 4th, 2021, Business Insider loaded their gun, turned off the safety, and pulled the trigger.
0.08.
I'm gonna ban you from the show.
You fucking fired, fuck.
Sociopath is defined as a mental health condition in which a person consistently shows no regard for right and wrong and ignores the rights and feelings of others.
Yeah,
Like you like don't care if I just fucking berate you and shit like
Not
that.
at all.
That was like the worst candidate ever.
He's gonna contribute nothing to the growth of this company. He's just a fatso.
His brain, it doesn't even think of working like normal. He's just one of the dumbest people I've ever met.
Whether you're 14 or 45, if you follow sports, US culture, or TikTok drama, chances are you've at least heard of Dave Portnoy.
I hope your fucking Barstool Sports bullshit dies and rots in the ground.
We're
just
20
like
years
your
though.
money.
We're 20 years.
One bite. You're fucking ugly, by the way.
Few people in human history have been as blunt as Dave is.
You posted the following on your site. I never condone rape, but if you're a size 6 and you're wearing skinny jeans, you kind of deserve to be raped.
Correct. I stand by that. I think it's a funny joke.
You think rape is funny?
No, I didn't say that. I think it's a funny joke.
Do you understand how offensive that is?
No, I obviously don't.
Even though he's known by many as the pizza guy,
One bite, everybody knows the rules.
he built Barstool Sports from the ground up. But this video is not about how he did that. It's about how his personality has prevented the mainstream media's cancellation attempts of him. In Dave's response video, he went on to explain how he'd known about this hit piece in the making for months.
Portraying me, painting me really as a sexual deviant. I'm not surprised this article came out.
It turns out Julia Black, who wrote the story, had been messaging virtually every woman who had ever been associated with Dave, trying to dig up dirt.
And then over the course of a year, I started getting emails and like texts from girls that I hadn't talked to in forever, or that I'd never even met, being like, there's a reporter snooping around.
As more information about the story trickled out in the following months, the TLDR is essentially this. There's no evidence that Dave Portnoy is a rapist. It seems that he's just into some kinky BDSM stuff in the bedroom. What made this cancellation attempt so fascinating and different is that Dave fought back. In nearly every other cancellation of a celebrity, they tuck their tail and let the storm pass. This is probably at the strong recommendation of their publicist or agent. In Dave's case, his lawyer advised him to do exactly that, not talk. But Dave is a man of the people. In his words, he shot from the hip. He did not take 48 hours to have a PR firm write a statement for him to release.
I'm ashamed of myself. I'm disappointed in myself. And I promise to be better.
This goes all the way back to the Barstool Sports inception. The original tagline was, by the common man, for the common man. Dave wanted to make it clear to all his readers that he and his company were just like them, sports and gambling fanatics, not a corporation.
The beauty of what I do is so many people don't like me. When you're an open book and have nothing to hide, you don't really lose sleep. And like, oh, they're going to say this. I'm an open book.
And he took that same approach of transparency when Julia Black pressed publish. He defended himself with facts, sometimes overdoing it a little and getting personal, but that's understandable given the fact that she tried to take away everything he had built.
They print and run. It's disgusting, and it's character assassination. My lawyers have said, just let it go. It'll go away. I'm not going to let it go.
Dave decided to file a lawsuit against Business Insider, which was ultimately dismissed by a judge for failing to prove they had acted with actual malice. A year later, the New York Times went after Dave. This time, Emily Steele tried to argue the following point. He should not be a sports betting spokesman, given his history of misogynistic and racist behavior. The problem with this attempt is pretty obvious. There's nothing tangible or concrete about her claims. She's basically saying this person is powerful, but I don't like him, therefore he should lose his job. But that's not how things work. Let's zoom out and take a macro look at all of this and ask why they're going after Dave. There are a few possibilities. The first is his influence on the youth. Some powerful people may not want his opinions and views rubbing off on his young, impressionable audience. This is vaguely similar to the Andrew Tate situation, how people worry about his masculine views poisoning the youth. The second option is that big tech simply doesn't like him. Unfortunately, companies like Meta and Google have the power to simply silence people whose beliefs don't align with theirs. Sometimes it's blatant, like when YouTube bans Steve Will Do It, but sometimes it's subtle and slimy, like shadow banning.
Emergency press conference, I'm getting shadow banned. I mean, come on. Instagram, I had 100 followers last night. Give me a break, that's a joke. TikTok, I can't buy a comment. 6 comments on a video, I comment. Where are the comments? No comments. Nothing is working. Nothing is showing up.
The third possibility is his stock market involvement. This is an interesting one. He started Davey Day Trader when the pandemic began, and he was throwing around large quantities of money.
Stock market excellence. I lost 500 grand today in the stock market. I wish I was fucking joking, I'm not. I rode Boeing, that plane company, into the fucking ground.
The financial industry is a muddy one, with lots of powerful people involved.
If you become political or you question the financial system, the powers that be.
That's facts.
That's what happened to Portnoy. Portnoy was doing all that fucking gambling, not even gambling, what was it? He was doing the day trader or something like that.
Yeah, Davey Day Trader.
And all of a sudden it was...
He stopped?
Well, I don't know if he stopped, but I know that they tried to make that motherfucker radioactive, and there were articles coming out in the Business Insider about Me Too. Like, you've never heard anything before that. He goes and fucks with the stock market, and then literally, Business Insider. Why would Business Insider be publishing articles?
So if you're wondering what the actual motive would be for this third option, the answer is money.
There's a lot of Penn stock. Penn stock had their earnings the day this article dropped. The day before, there was wild shorting. Basically, people betting against Penn. You can bet on a stock against it. For some reason, tons of people bet against it the day before it dropped.
Regardless of why Dave Portnoy was targeted, he made it clear that he wasn't going to just roll over and die. He's a fighter.
If you told me, because of Corona, I lost Barstool, I had to go get a 9-to-5 and start fucking over, I'd rather die at Corona, seriously.
It was refreshing to see someone fight back, and that's because he knew he didn't deserve to have everything he had worked for taken away from him, even if he is a little petty.
I have champagne bottles engraved with the top of the list enemies of mine, and I wait for them to fuck up, and then I pop them.
In 2020, Barstool Sports sold to Penn National Gaming for $551 million, netting Dave $100 million personally. But in August of 2023, the groups decided to part ways, and Dave bought back Barstool.
Okay, emergency press conference time. Maybe the biggest emergency press conference we've ever had here at Barstool Sports. As of this moment, while you were watching this video, I have purchased back Barstool Sports from Penn. So that is right. For the first time in a decade, I own 100% of Barstool Sports.
How do we measure whether a cancellation attempt was a success or a failure? To me, it comes down to 3 fundamental questions. Was the cancellation reason legitimate? Was there an agenda by the media? Where are they now? A good example is James Franco. Once a successful and renowned actor and filmmaker, he's been out of the limelight for several years now. That's due to him being canceled for sexual misconduct. When comparing the 2 cases, the answers to the 3 core questions are different for the 2 guys. Franco admitted to having sex with his own students and being in treatment for sex addiction. There was no hidden agenda or motive for the media to go after Franco specifically. And lastly, where are they now? One is still thriving in the public, while the other is nowhere to be seen. Dave has entertained millions on a daily basis over the span of 2 decades.
This guy's got permission to shoot on my patio today? Cool. So I'm gonna need you to make your way out this way.
Okay. I'm gonna give this a 0.0.
And when he looks back on his career, I don't think he has many regrets. With him deciding to buy Barstool back and own 100% of it, he won't be going away anytime soon, much to the dismay of many people.